Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now June 16th of 2025, and given that the whole Meghan Markle drama and backlash is only getting worse ever since she dropped that viral pregnancy video on Instagram and refused to take it down even after Netflix urged her to do so, things are only growing at a very rapid rate right now for Meghan Markle, and not in a good way. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Meghan Markle is that we already know that she is very much an insufferable individual, very much self-absorbed, narcissistic. She's trying to get every opportunity that she can to remain in the limelight and the spotlight and to have all the attention on her. And that's exactly why a lot of studios now are beginning to catch on, exactly how phony she is, exactly how out of place she really is when it comes to her overall stance in Hollywood. And that's really just not working for her. Everything is beginning to backfire. And the latest development has a lot to do with the overall ramifications, the consequences of dropping that viral Instagram video, and how it really just exploded across all of social media. Let's get into this, shall we? Now, what's interesting about all of this is that we know that Meghan Markle is trying to get every opportunity and chance that she can get to either be in a reality TV show or another type of program out there to focus on her beyond Netflix, beyond the With Love Meghan series, and it's just really not working in her favor because of everything that's been going on. And you would think that at the very minimum, if this is really going that bad for you, you would at least maybe decide to take down that viral video at the very minimum, but she absolutely refuses to do so. However, what's interesting here is that with the Meghan Markle backlash only growing ever since she posted her viral pregnancy video that she refused to take down, one major development going on now involves more to do with the Meghan Markle drama surrounding this video. It turns out that in a shocking turn of events, the Walt Disney Company recently ditched Meghan Markle and decided to blacklist her in the midst of the growing viral video that even Disney executives viewed as way too controversial and something that would only cause more trouble. CEO Bob Iger and the board came to a universal agreement, get this, to not only cancel all future negotiations and meetings with Meghan, but to instantly call off any deals that were in the talks and to never allow Markle to get hired by the Disney Company, both in the near and distant future at the studio. It turns out that Meghan was actually pushing for multiple commentary projects for National Geographic, for the Disney Plus streaming service, and a brand new Disney dedicated travel series that they were in talks to do. Both of those projects were just shot down after Disney learned that the Paramount, of course, studio also got rid of Meghan Markle. This most likely stems from the fact that Bob Iger is trying to build up his legacy of his own before he steps down next year, with the Disney Company moving away from Markle in a very similar pattern to what they did with Rachel Zegler after Snow White. Markle was reportedly fuming at Bob Iger after he made that swift move. It turns out her blacklisting at Disney was a major blow to her career, since she was actually banking on the Disney Company as an easy route to go. Now Meghan is in the process of finding other studios to make a deal with as she is losing roles left and right ever since she posted her viral video on Instagram. The reshoots for With Love Meghan Season 2, by the way, also just started for the series and are expected to last until July. To make matters worse for Markle is that Disney is in the beginning stages, of course, and when they were in the beginning stages, I should say, was offering Markle a $150 million contract deal to develop multiple projects for National Geographic and other aspects related to Disney Plus. Now, this entire contract deal, get this, was lost after she was also, of course, starting to push Disney to make it $200 million when it came to the contract. Bob Iger refused. Now, let me just say one thing about that. It's one thing for Markle to be offered a $150 million contract deal, $50 million more than the Netflix one, which is crazy. And look, I get it, it's Disney, you're comparing Disney to Netflix. But what's interesting here is the fact that she was pushing for $200 million. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how she thinks that she's worth that amount when it comes to a contract, but the fact that she was unhappy with the $150 million deal and was pushing for $2 is absolutely ludicrous. It's insane, and it really just goes to show you how greedy Meghan Markle really is. And I think a lot of that stems from the fact that she knows that she doesn't really have much of a future left beyond, of course, what's happening over at Netflix, beyond what's going on with her show With Love Meghan. That's also another major obstacle that she has to get past. So look, we already know that Bob Iger is trying to really just secure his role as a CEO, CEO. He wants to be viewed as a good CEO for the remainder of the 2020s. Even after he steps down in 26, he still wants to actually be looked back on as a profitable CEO at the Disney company, right? One that contributed to a lot of success points. And, well, that's just not happening for Disney right now. You know, they're actually dealing with a lot of issues, a lot of failures, a lot of box office flops throughout 23, last year, and even some this year. Now, what's interesting about this moving onwards is that, and of course, this was the first sign to Disney that she would actually be trouble to work with and be affiliated with. The viral video for Disney was reportedly the ultimate deal breaker, and they didn't catch on to that video until just recently, after their data analysts found it on social media and reported back to those high up in the corporate ladder, such as the executives and Bob Iger. Now, this whole new development is creating a second domino effect for Markle, where she is losing many opportunities at a very fast rate. Markle still has plans to focus on other studios after her blacklisting from Disney, and she even blamed Disney CEO Bob Iger as a traitor to those that come from a place of diversity. Meghan also plans to call out Disney on her podcast. Look, it's one thing to be blacklisted from Disney, that's a major deal, but the fact that she's going to now call out Disney on a podcast of her own, either the existing podcast or the new one that's coming out in a short few months, it really just goes to show you that she's very much got a very fragile personality, a very fragile, view on everything when it comes to her role in Hollywood. She really can't take any criticism. She's very thin-skinned, and she's really not fit for Hollywood at all. And no matter how many times she tries to shoot for the role in Hollywood, she keeps getting shot down, and it's not working at all, because nobody wants to work with Meghan Markle. I think that nearly every studio at this point is beginning to catch on. There may be a few out there that are completely clueless, that have no idea what's going on, and we'll talk more about that in the coming days, because there are other studios that are still interested. I'm sure they're going to catch on. I'm 100% sure. Because if Disney caught on, most certainly every other studio will at some point. So again, I think that Bob Iger, this doesn't make him a good CEO. I'm just saying this is a good step in the right direction to at least do something logical, to at least have some level of common sense. You know, the fact that they actually got rid of Meghan Markle, pushed her to the wayside and said, yeah, we're not working with you, we're not going to waste $200 million, let alone $150 million on a contract deal for someone that does nothing but put out word salads all the time and has a cooking show where she's actually spewing word salads when she's actually narrating. And that's typically what happens in the With Love Meghan series. If you have not seen it, I do not recommend anyone goes ahead and watches that show, but I'm just saying that is basically what it is. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about her role over at Disney and how that got destroyed. The fact that she was aiming for a National Geographic commentary project, a narration project, doing voiceover work, and a travel series on Disney Plus, goes to show you how she's really stretching to do anything that she can to secure other projects out there. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this all below in the comments, everything related to the whole Meghan and Disney situation. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.